Now at 10, the latest results from today's Oklahoma primary election, plus details about Pittsburgh's new wastewater treatment plant, the future one, and Jasper County officials give an update on the level of COVID infections in the county.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Oklahoma voters have chosen their party nominees for some regional and statewide offices. We have the results from today's primary races, and we begin with the Republican nomination for governor. No surprise here, incumbent Governor Kevin Stitt won among the Republicans. In the Democratic race for governor, the head of Oklahoma's public school system, Joy Hoffmeyer, defeats former state senator Connie Johnson. Hoffmeyer had been a longtime Republican but switched parties last year to run against Stitt. In a U.S. Senate race, incumbent Senator James Lankford gets the Republican nomination as he tries to win another term. Now, 6 Democrats ran in the primary for that Senate seat. Madison Horn advances to a primary runoff election. 13 Republicans ran for the nomination to fill the unexpired term of retiring U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe. Representative Marqueen Mullen is leading by a wide margin, but he'd have to get more than 50% of the vote to avoid a runoff. Not clear if that's going to happen. Kendra Horn was the only Democrat running in that race. And 14 Republicans ran for the Republican nomination to Oklahoma's 2nd District congressional seat. With no one near 50%, this race appears to be headed toward a runoff. Naomi Andrews was unopposed for the Democratic nomination in that contest. One other Oklahoma race for you here. Doug Hewitt is leading in the Republican nomination for district attorney in Ottawa and Delaware counties. This primary marks the first statewide election since the general election in 2020. Election officials tell us turnout was steady throughout the day.
Primaries are important because you have to have a way to sift out the best candidate for each party to present to the general election.
Of course, we're going to have full coverage on that general election in November right here on KOAM. You can find results to other races tonight and in the future at KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. We also invite you to download the KOAM News app for election information, including polling places, deadlines, dates. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Nice weather out there for late June. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good stretch over the past 3 days of fantastic temperatures, slowly creeping up each day, but we don't have the humidity. So when you don't have the humidity, it feels pretty good during the summer months. 88 normal highs, 89 record, 102 set back in 2012. Nothing going on here. We have clear skies. We're going to see clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. That's what we have across Central Plains as well. Temperatures upper 60s to lower 70s. I actually think most of us will drop back right around 60 a little bit later on tonight. So a very comfortable night. But again, tomorrow, not much humidity, so our temperatures are going to warm up quickly, 70s to 80s, 90 during the afternoon. So the 90s will return. Eventually the humidity and thunderstorm chances as well. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. City of Pittsburgh today hosted a study session to give residents an update on the future wastewater treatment plant. Ground has been broken on the $40 million project, but construction has not started yet. City officials say they have $4 million in funding secured, but they're still working on gathering the rest. However, they say when it's complete, that plant will generate some revenue itself.
The biggest part is that it's old. It built in 1952 and added on, but so the biggest part of the plant's over 50 years old to as much as 70 years old.
Construction on that project is expected to finish around 2026. Health officials with the city of Joplin say the number of new COVID cases has climbed recently and is now in the high category. Officials say at the peak of the pandemic, Joplin saw 165 new cases per day. We're not near that now. There's just 22 new cases per day. Still, officials do say we should be cautious.
As to why we're upticking, my assumption is that it's a number of things. One being that the cautiousness and the protections are not in place as much as what they once were.
According to the CDC, 58% of the U.S. population lives in an area with a medium or high COVID-19 community level. Some protesters hit the streets today in Joplin to express their opposition to last week's Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. It's one of a number of similar area protests in recent days.
I'm out here because I'm in a fight for women's rights. I believe that the Supreme Court has taken actions against women, and we need to fight that. And as our First Amendment right, we have the right to do so.
They marched from Par Hill Park to Rangeline. Joplin has a new hands-on museum for science and math exploration. The Creative Learning Alliance in Joplin held their ribbon-cutting ceremony for their new building on South Main Street. Members of the Joplin and Carl Junction Chambers of Commerce joined together to see firsthand how fun these activities can be. All activities are hands-on and are for kids and adults.
I'm the mom of a 10-year-old, and I want him to grow up in a region and a community that has these sorts of fun things where he can play but learn, hands-on, real-world learning and having fun at the same time.
To learn more about the Creative Learning Alliance, you can visit our website. Again, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, why a small, long-standing Missouri general store held an auction. Plus, some high schoolers get a lesson in medicine at Joplin's MASH camp.
Join the 4th of July.
After 129 years, a tiny Southwest Missouri general store goes to a liquidation auction. Pelsu's Mercantile is located in Wentworth, Missouri. KOAM Segun Bamadelli was at the auction and has more on the story.
After serving the community of Wentworth for 129 years, John M. Sweeney, the former owner of Pelsu's Mercantile, has decided to retire and sell the century-old store.
Well, I have antiques from the beginning of the store all the way to the present day, and well, I figured that would help me sell the store, and so I can, retire comfortably.
John also tells us how the store was acquired by his aunt.
My aunt, Agnes Sweeney Pelsu, had a grocery store across the street from there in 1901 till it closed in '49. She married Pete Pelsu, and then they joined forces here at the store.
John says over the years, the buying power of big corporations has had an impact on his business.
Corporations, they had a big buying power, and that, I can't buy that much anymore, and so, because everything's dated, so you have to watch that. Years back, nothing was dated, so everybody, we had good business. We take in, quite a bit, but it just kind of slowed down, and I have more time on my hands, and I'd rather be waiting on customers.
The new owner of the store, Mona Robertson, says it is a relief to have bought the store.
It's a relief. Our father just passed away on June the 17th, and he spent his life dedicated to this town, and it means everything to have bought this in memory of my father.
In Wentworth, Segun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Sweeney has been involved with that store since he was 10 years old. That store was established in 1893. Carthage will soon have a new senior living facility. MBL Development hosted a groundbreaking along with the city and Chamber of Commerce for the future Carthage Senior Villas Phase 2. Construction is expected to finish next summer. It will consist of 38 two-bedroom units and a community building.
There's a real big need within your county for senior housing, 62 and above. There's a 63% chance that most seniors will need additional housing. So it's a real big need in this county because of demographics.
The facility will be at the northwest corner of Fur and Chapel Roads. High school kids from 21 Missouri counties visited Joplin for an extra special field trip today. KCU Medical School hosted the Missouri AHEC Science and Health MASH Camp. KCU faculty led activities, demonstrations, and tours throughout campus. Demonstrations included dental saliva tests, dissections, and osteopathic manipulative treatment.
I have a lot of fun in this program. I've been doing it for a while, since like middle school, and I get a lot out of it. We go to a lot of places around this campus here and we learn a lot, and we get to do a lot of hands-on learning, which I like personally.
The Missouri American Healthcare Education Center provides community outreach to all area high schools and pre-health professions programs. A little bit later, the House Select Committee holds a surprise hearing.
Plus, it looks like thunderstorms back in the forecast for the holiday weekend. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice day for us today. 3 days in a row, we've had highs into the 80s and not much in the way of humidity, which, hey, we'll definitely take in late June, also moving into early July. Clear skies looks good at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our temps today. With no humidity or very low humidity, your temperatures can rise very quickly. But even though you get into the upper 80s, doesn't feel that bad. Now the humidity is going to slowly creep back in as we go through the next few days. So most of us mid to upper 80s, 4 highs. Now very comfortable, upper 60s to lower 70s. I think most of us drop back near 60 later on tonight, which is great. Look at our dew points, low to mid 50s to near 60. So if we pull out our chart, we're sitting in that pleasant to not bad range. However, we're going to slowly inch up the scale as we work into the holiday weekend. Right now it looks good. 71, pretty much calm winds. Humidity is at 55%. Nothing going on here. We have clear skies, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, most of the Central Plains, nothing going on whatsoever. A little bit of tropical moisture we're going to watch just south of Louisiana. Some of this moisture could advect north, and we have waves kind of stacking up across the Pacific Northwest. So this should at least give us chances to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here by the time we head toward the weekend. Until then, nothing really going on, just pretty pleasant. Near 60 to start. Let's go through the morning hours. We'll stop at noon. Already mid 80s, but again, it feels pretty good. We are going to make it up to about 90 by the time we head into the afternoon, but again, another nice day. 61 during the morning hours, 85 by noon, 90 by 5. Southerly winds are going to be light at about 5 to 10. As we go through the evening hours, we drop off, eventually lower 60s again by Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, a little bit hotter, lower 90s, and a little bit more humidity by the time we get into Thursday afternoon. But still, Thursday is shaping up pretty good. Mid 90s return by the time we head into Friday, which kind of stinks. All right, heat indices tomorrow pretty much match our temperatures, which is good. Heat indices creep up a bit, mid 90s, by the time Thursday rolls around. On Friday, cold front starts to sink in. This will at least give us chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms. We're going to go into the mid 90s. Still a few scattered thunderstorms on Saturday, mid 90s again. Front lifts back toward the north by Sunday. And then on Monday, much of the same. There is a very slight chance we could get an isolated thunderstorm Sunday and Monday. But overall, right now, I think the holiday and most of the holiday weekend is shaping up pretty good. 90 tomorrow, 93 Thursday, 95 on Friday, mid 90s into the weekend, and then upper 90s return early next week.
Oh, well, it'll be July.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it.
No, you can't. Thanks, Doug. Crews removed the old antenna from the top of our tower, and today the new antenna weighing 12.5 tons went up the tower. Very slow process, so it was moving up there. Now, for now, we are broadcasting from a temporary antenna lower on the tower as we prepare to transition to a new and more powerful transmitter. Our signal is kind of glitchy for some of you from time to time. We know that. We are working on that. When the project is finished, We're going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. Check out the progress anytime on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/power. Stella had a surprise hearing from the January 6th House Committee.
Stunning testimony before the January 6th committee about what went on behind the scenes in the days and hours before the attack. I'm Natalie Brand with the new details revealed by a former White House aide.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on our U.S. Capitol held a surprise hearing today. As Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill, the testimony from a former White House aide led to some bombshells.
It didn't take long after Cassidy Hutchinson was sworn in for the aide to former President Trump's White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to start sharing new revelations about what went on behind the scenes leading up to and on January 6th. In stunning testimony, she recounted what she was told about how former President Trump reacted when his chief Secret Service agent, Bobby Engel, refused to bring him to the U.S. Capitol after directing the crowd there.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel."
She also said Mr. Trump lunged at Engel and testified he threw dishes multiple times, including after reading an interview given by his Attorney General, William Barr.
I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall, and there's a shattered porcelain plate on the floor.
Hutchinson also testified former President Trump was angry metal detectors prevented some of his supporters from getting into the rally.
I overheard the president say something to the effect of, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away.
During the Capitol attack, Hutchinson says the former president did nothing to stop it, even though he, Meadows, and White House counsel Pat Cipollone heard the crowd was threatening to hang Vice President Mike Pence.
I remember Pat saying something to the effect of, "Mark, we need to do something more. They're literally calling for the vice president to be effing hung." And Mark had responded something to the effect of, "You heard him, Pat. He thinks Mike deserves it. He doesn't think they're doing anything wrong."
Committee members say they're looking into potential witness tampering by Trump allies. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Former President Trump tweeted that he barely knows Hutchinson. A source close to the Secret Service tells CBS News that Agent Bobby Engel and the presidential driver are prepared to testify that neither was attacked and Mr. Trump did not reach for the steering wheel. Emergency contraception is flying off shelves in the wake of action from the Supreme Court. CVS, Rite Aid, and Walmart have all announced they're limiting purchases of over-the-counter morning after pills, such as Plan B. This is due to a fear of running out of supply, so rationing is starting to take place. CVS says their decision is to ensure equitable access, saying they have ample supply of pills. These pills prevent ovulation and fertilization from occurring. They do not kill a fetus or fertilized egg. A new study suggests putting your phone on silent mode or vibrate can trigger stress. Researchers from Penn State University found people who silence their devices tend to use them more. The team surveyed 138 iPhone users. 42% of people chose to put their phone on vibrate, while only 8.7% chose to silence it. They found those participants who put their phones on mute spent the most time on their phones and social media compared to those who did not. They also found that people who muted notification had increased feelings of stress. Final check of the weather next. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Kent Holt served in the U.S. Navy from 1951 to 1955. His hometown, Uniontown, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Kent Holt, a four-state hero. You know, we have thousands of these heroes in our database, more than 3,000 of them total. You can look them up by hometown or by name, and we're always looking for more heroes to honor. If you know of a veteran or currently serving service member, why not let us know about that person? Just drop us a line. Click on the link at koamnewsnow.com. If you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to watch our newscasts live, and why wouldn't you, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple and Google Play stores, as well as Roku, Amazon Fire TV. All you have to do is search for KOAM Plus. A close call caught on camera sees a group of boaters escape a bolt of lightning by mere inches. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Boaters on a fishing expedition ended up becoming the catch of the day when a Coast Guard chopper crew hoisted them to safety after a lightning strike cut their pleasure cruise short. The shocking strike hit the boat about 100 miles off Tampa Bay's coast, disabling it and reportedly knocking one of the passengers out for just a moment. But thankfully, the vessel was equipped with an electronic safety beacon that, once activated, allowed the Coast Guard rescuers to quickly find the group and pull them one by one to safety. A pair of paddleboarders had to be rescued from Scottish waters after strong winds pushed the pair nearly a mile out to sea. An urgent call was made after the boarders could be heard crying for help, at which point a lifeboat loaded with volunteer rescuers quickly responded and plucked the pair from the water just in the nick of time. Finally, from harrowing above-water recoveries to an amazing underwater discovery. A massive marble head pulled from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck in Greece is suspected to be the final missing piece of a headless statue of Hercules that was found by divers over 120 years ago and has been hanging out headless in a museum ever since. The head was one of many new finds in the famous Antikythera shipwreck, which had already yielded many incredible 20th century historic finds. Experts plan to continue to prod this maritime marvel that's the archaeological gift that keeps on giving. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Final look at the weather.
Well, we look pretty good over the next couple days. 90 tomorrow, 93 on Thursday. Heat, humidity, return for the holiday weekend.
Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.